Happy Monday, folks. Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill here today for April 17th, 2017. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and right here on the show every single Monday, I break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network. So today I figured I would watch and review the episode of Ride Along that aired just last Monday on the WWE Network on April 10th, right after Raw. And it was a pretty good episode. I mean, not as good as some other ride-along shows I've talked about here on WWE Network and Chill. I reviewed the Dallas Detour episode from a couple of months ago with Ellsworth and Daniel Bryan, and I think Slater and Rhino. And then the last episode of Ride Along I talked about here on the show from about a month or so ago was with Sammy and Neville. And let me see here. Who was the other couple? I think it was Rollins and Cesaro. So this episode featured Miz and Maurice riding from San Diego to Hollywood, and then Alexa Bliss and Carmella riding from San Diego as well. It was on the 3-year anniversary of Miz and Maurice's wedding, which I know is in February, so this is probably mid-February, I think, if not late February. This is when it was filmed. So anyway, they're going from San Diego to Hollywood, where Miz and Maurice live apparently. And then Bliss and Carmella are going from San Diego to Ontario for whatever the next show is. So the episode is called Highway to Hollywood, and as is usually the case with my reviews of the ride-along shows, I'm just kind of doing a quick play-by-play here. There's really nothing to analyze, just kind of talking about what they do over the course of the episode. So like I said, Miz and Maurice are celebrating their 3-year anniversary of when they got married, which I think they're a great couple. They've been together for a lot longer than, obviously, they've been married for 3 years, but they've been a couple dating back to when Maurice came in via the Diva Search, like well over 10 years ago. So that's to kind of give you an idea how long they've been together. Alexa Bliss and Carmella talk about people being jacked in California. They're just walking around a fucking CVS looking all jacked. I've been to California once, 7 years ago, or not even 7 years ago, 10 years ago at this point, surprisingly enough. I think it's been that long. I can't say I shared a similar experience thinking that everyone was jacked in California. Then again, it was only 11 years old, 12 years old, whatever. But California is a great place. Carmella shows a lot of love for the Californian state, and I got to agree, California is a great state. Bliss talks about how she started out as a Southern girl in NXT. They show a brief clip of her tryout, like one of those promo classes. And Miz later talks about getting recognized while they were at dinner from the real world, and Maurice gives him shit for it. Bliss and Carmella reminisce about being drafted from NXT to SmackDown in the WWE 2016 draft. They show footage of them getting called up and them embracing each other and to never leave each other. And unfortunately, since this aired on Monday, and then it was revealed, or this aired actually right after Raw, but it was revealed that same night that Alexa went to Raw and Carmella did not. So they have since been separated, unfortunately. Maurice talks about how she may or may not have forgotten about the fact that it was their anniversary, and she may have merely been reminded about it when she logged into Facebook that morning. So that's not good. But I feel like Miz just kind of brushed it off, but if it was the other way around, you know that Miz absolutely would have gotten shit from Maurice. So just to point that out. But anyway, Alexa talks about how if they just eat the slightest, just any bit of fat, they'll gain weight. But AJ Styles eats cookies all the time. So we get a fun fact about AJ here, how he eats cookies all the time, and he once shoved a donut in Carmella's face after she asked to smell it. True story. You heard it here first on WWE Network and Chill, or technically on Ride Along, but they talk about the story on the show. AJ Styles sounds like the coolest fucking guy. I met him a couple years ago. He's super fucking nice, but he sounds like the ultimate guy like backstage where he's like ribbing people, but not like bullying. JBL. Anyway, moving on. Maurice kind of talks about the same thing, Miz talks about it in regards to Maurice, how she can eat a lot and still get ripped after working out for a week. And it seems like that's the case with a lot of people. Either you have a high metabolism and you can eat a lot and not get fat, or you just eat like a donut and you feel like you've gained 10 pounds. I don't know. I feel like it's very hit or miss for a lot of people. Alexa and Carmella talk about not being let into a building one time before a SmackDown show, and Rhino had to come out and say, "Hey, I'm Rhino, like, let these girls in," and then the security guard had no idea who he was, which seems to be like a skit out of Swerved, but I guess it was real life, which is pretty funny. Over the course of their drive, Maurice and Miz learn French and English respectively. Miz does a just horrendous job of learning French, and I can sympathize with the guy. I've never learned a lick of French in my life. Only Spanish. I took Spanish from 6th grade to senior year. I mean, I guess I could have stopped a lot sooner than I did, but at that point, you might as well just finish out. So technically 6 to 7 years I took of Spanish. 4 years later, I hardly know anything other than hola. So that goes to show how the educational system here in, at least in the Northeast, has failed me in regards to remembering a lot of the shit that I learned in high school, which was a joke anyway. But anyway, Maurice's English is not phenomenal, but it's a lot better than Miz's French. So I got to take Maurice's side on this and commend her for her strong English-speaking abilities. So anyway, Carmella tells a story how Bayley ripped Carmella's jacket while periscoping. I guess if that's a verb. But anyway, so I guess Bayley was trying on Carmella's clothes. She tried on her jacket, and she ripped the jacket while on air, which is pretty funny. And Carmella said the jacket remains ripped to this day. Carmella also talks about Miz giving her shit for taking a selfie with her Starbucks, and Alexa did the same thing. So never take your selfie in front of anyone else, unless they're like your best friend or something. I feel like that's just common sense 101, especially Miz, who seems like a lot like AJ Styles, that he'll give you shit for something, but he's not going to bully you, because I feel like he was obviously the victim of hazing and bullying backstage in his day 10 years ago. Miz talks about bringing the come on, where he slaps his leg. It's a callback to season 1 of Ride Along. It might have been the first ever episode with Miz and Ziggler and maybe like the Usos and Naomi. I forgot who else was featured on that episode, but I'm pretty sure, or maybe it was the Bella Twins, I don't remember. But I know one of the first pairings was Miz and Dolph Ziggler, and Miz thought this thing would catch on where you would tell a joke, and then you would slap your leg and then go, come on. It's like so Miz levels of obnoxious that it might actually work, but obviously did not catch on. But it was funny that Miz like even outright admits that it was a callback to that initial appearance on Ride Along from a couple of years ago. So I thought that was pretty great. Anyway, they talk about their dogs, and Carmella and Alexa talk about their dogs. They show pictures from Instagram. Alexa talks about dressing up her dogs as minions, which I thought was pretty cute, as a dog lover myself. Miz and Maurice pick up their dogs, I guess from some shelter or whatever. I don't know, wherever they kept the dogs before they went home to Hollywood, and they turn out the cameras before they go home because they don't want us to see their home. Bliss and Carmella arrive in Orlando, and then Miz and Maurice go to Hollywood, as they tell us. And that's it. That is it for this episode of Ride Along Highway to Hollywood. In the next episode, we'll feature, they don't say when these things will air, they just pretty much put them on the network at random after Raw some weeks. Like I said, the last episode before this one aired in early March, and this one just aired now on the WWE Network. A month later, so you never know when they'll air, but the next episode will feature Rich Swann and TJ Perkins riding together, in addition to Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick. And we don't get a single word from Brian, and it's just Jack Gallagher awkwardly attempting to make conversation with the former Cruiserweight champion. So that should be pretty entertaining. I look forward to that whenever that airs in the near future. But yeah, as far as this episode goes, of course, Ride Along, never a must-see show, but it's always enjoyable for what it's worth. It's a 20-minute show. If you like Miz and Maurice, want to get some more insight in their relationship beyond Total Divas and beyond what we see on SmackDown and Talking Smack, then check out this episode. If you want to see more insight on the lives of Alexa and Carmella, if you like both girls as much as I do, check out the episode. It's fun. If you're a dog lover, you'll fucking love this episode. I got to recommend this episode to my girlfriend because she loves Alexa. She loves dogs. She's got to watch the show. So check it out on the WWE Network. Again, it aired a week ago on April 10th, 2017. Highway to Hollywood under the original section on the WWE Network. So next week, I have no idea what we'll talk about. I'll probably, unless they air something, they don't announce what they're airing on the network after Raw until like literally either that day or a couple of days before. So I have no idea what's airing next week after Raw, or even tonight as I record this. I have no fucking clue. So we'll find out what I'll be reviewing next week. It'll be a surprise to me as much as it is to you guys. So that being said, follow me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant. Check me out on Facebook as well at facebook.com/graham.gs.matthews. And right here on YouTube, support the channel by liking the video, leaving a comment, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video. All that stuff is amazingly appreciated. And like I said, guys, we'll be back next Monday with another all-new episode of WWE Network and Chill. But in the meantime, check out WrestleRant tomorrow, #AskGSM on Wednesday, WrestleRant radio excerpts on Thursday, random video blog on Friday, injection of inspiration on Saturday, and just random videos, miscellaneous videos going up on Sundays. So interviews, live reactions, so on and so forth. So subscribe to the channel. Join the wrestling revolution that is the Graham G.S. Matthews WrestleRant brand. So until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews again, and I'll catch you guys down the road.